I'm not a lawyer, but today is day 2 of the Fani Willis hearing. Well, I mean, it's about her, but it started because one of the co-defendants of the Trump RICO case filed a motion to have Fani and her office disqualified from the case. So yeah, let's just go with the Fani Willis hearing. Okay, so I'm bringing y'all a midday recap. Let's get to it. Yesterday, we left off with Fani Willis having completed direct examination. In layman's terms, all of the defense attorneys got to ask all of their questions to Fani. So today was supposed to pick up with cross-examination of her, meaning her attorneys were going to get to question her, but her attorney said they don't have no questions for her.
Not seeing anything else. If we could bring back in Ms. Willis.
Actually, Your Honor, the state has no further questions for Ms. Willis, so.
All right.
So listen, y'all know I'm not a lawyer, but her attorneys not calling her back to the stand seems to be a tactic. If you're a real lawyer, weigh in the comments with your thoughts about that. Then the state calls Governor Roy Barnes. He has an extensive resume, and DA Fani Willis asked him to be special prosecutor on this case.
I don't recall the exact date, but I know it was sometime in 2021. And she asked me to come down, and I met with her and Nathan Wade, and there were several other in the meeting. She asked me, said they were beginning this investigation, and she asked me if I'd be interested in being special prosecutor, to which I replied that I had mouths to feed at a law office, and that I would not do that.
Initially, Governor Barnes couldn't recall the date that he had the meeting with DA Willis, but he was able to contact his office, and eventually he confirmed it.
My calendar shows it was October 26, 2021.
And then Fani's father, John Floyd III, is called to the stand.
As an attorney, I practice law. I've probably tried 1,000 cases. About 50% of my practice was criminal law. 25% of it was family law, and the rest was whatever walked through the front door could pay for it.
He spoke about the harassment that Fani was facing at her home after being elected to DA and bringing about these charges in the Trump case and some of the gang cases. And even though he urged her to move, he decided to stay and look after her house.
She was forced to move after she was elected. After she was sworn in on January 1 of 2021. And on or about the 3rd of February, at probably 5:30 a.m. in the morning, there were people outside her house cursing and yelling and calling her the B word and the N word, and it was bizarre. Okay.
On cross, the attorneys asked him about the cash that Fani kept in her house and some other stuff. I'm just going to play the clips.
During the time period of 2019 to the end of 2020. Are you aware if Miss Willis was dating someone?
Yeah, she did. Deuce. Sometimes every day, sometimes, every other day. No, I saw him often.
Oh, so you mean there was no secret that she was dating this man?
Not from me.
Not from you.
And he was a disc jockey of some kind. I think he had a government job during the day. I don't know what it was.
But Ms. Willis, your daughter didn't keep him from you, correct?
No.
Now, when did you learn that your daughter had a romantic, personal relationship with Mr. Wade?
Well, about 7 weeks ago. Just found out when other folks found out. Okay.
And until recently, you didn't know from anyone, including your daughter, that she dated Mr. Wade, correct?
That's correct.
That is,
Did your daughter tell you in around October of 2022 that she had gone on a Caribbean cruise with Mr. Wade to the Bahamas?
The answer is I knew that my daughter had gone, but I did not know who she went with or what the circumstances were. So I knew that she had gone out of town, but I didn't know with whom.
Did she tell you in November of 2022 that she had gone to Aruba?
The answer was, again, I knew she went out of town. I didn't even know where she went. I knew she was going out of town. She told me she was going out of town. I think she might have said she was going out of the country or something. She'd be going. But other than that, that was all.
When your daughter moved or left the house that she owned, did she say anything to you about having a large savings of cash?
Oh, no, no. See, maybe, excuse me, and Your Honor, I'm not trying to be racist, okay? But it's a black thing, okay? You know, I was trained, and most black folks, they hide cash or they keep cash. And I trained, you always keep some cash because I've been places, and just because of the color of my skin, I've always kept cash, and I've told my daughter, you keep 6 months worth of cash, always.
You seem to know about the issue of cash in this transaction. You said it was a black thing. How did you know that the cash was going to be an issue in this testimony?
Because I was asked for it and I was prepped by the lawyers and they asked me about it.
Did you speak with your daughter about your testimony?
She may have been present when the lawyers were. I really don't remember.
If Mr. Wade and your daughter were dating, you wouldn't have known that unless your daughter told you.
I did not know that they were dating.
Judge,
And
I
when
have
were you
nothing
talking
further.
about the cash? I didn't know that. I don't know what you're asking me. What I told my child from the time she was a child is always have some money. Always have some money. If you go on a date so that people don't try to stick you and you want to leave whoever, always keep some cash, okay?
Mr. Floyd, you answered the question that the attorneys prepped you for that. So that's all I wanted to know.
I just want to know when you were prepped by the lawyers, when this prep session was.
I got in Wednesday. It must have been Wednesday.
Okay. Did you talk about any of the testimony from yesterday or watch any news reports or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. Luca, you can't cut the TV on without seeing this. The first thing, and I listen to conservative radio a lot, and, last night for 5 hours, all they talked about was this case.
So you were aware of what the testimony your daughter gave yesterday was?
Yeah, of course.
So is it fair to say nobody instructed you that you were under the rule of sequestration?
Right, and I'm not under subpoena either.
After John's testimony, Ashley Merchant, the one who filed this motion, moved to strike John's entire testimony.
Before we move on, I'd move to strike the last witness's testimony because of violation of the rule of sequestration.
All right, so I think the rule is invoked and the instruction was for the parties to tell all witnesses subpoenaed or expected to appear about the rule. I don't think the remedy is necessarily striking. I think it can go also to this credibility as well. So to that extent, unless Ms. Cross, you want something else to be heard on that, point is made.
After that, the court took a lunch. The defense is trying to call one of Nathan Wade's law partners, but he has a doctor's appointment, so they're currently trying to get him back to the courthouse. So I'll be back with a recap of part 2 for day 2 after court adjourns for the day.